These videos have millions of views. Plywood generators, perpetual motion machines, radios made from rusty bolts. Comments are full of, "This is genius." So we're grabbing a calculator and checking if even one of these survives contact with actual physics. First up, another invention of the century made from plywood and sticks. The creator claims this DIY generator can power an induction motor and instantly heat water. Sounds impressive? It's complete bullshit. Let's set the record straight. This thing violates everything they taught us in school. Look at the input versus output. To spin a motor and heat water, you need power. A lot of power. The generator runs on a tiny motor from a solar panel. Its output? Maybe 20 to 30 watts tops. About as powerful as a mosquito sneeze. Now, the generator itself, this is engineering BDSM. Instead of a proper rotor, there's an angle grinder disc with magnets glued on. The coils have no iron cores. Without iron, the magnetic field doesn't concentrate. It just scatters into nothing. It's like cutting out a section of water pipe and expecting the water to reach the faucet by floating through air. And that gap between the magnets and coils, you could fit your foot in there. Because of this, the efficiency drops to basically zero. Holy crap, people! Energy doesn't come from nowhere. You can't pour a cup of gas in your tank and drive 1,000 miles. The wire gauge is thinner than hair. Let's say a miracle happened and the generator actually worked. To start that induction motor, you need massive starting current. For wire this thin, that's a death sentence. Now, the second test, heating water. The creator shorts the generator directly to a copper tube. This is a dead short circuit. Under these conditions, the generator should lock up from electromagnetic braking and the wire should start heating up and melting its insulation. Now let's watch how one craftsman decided to outsmart not just physics, but human anatomy itself, turning an ordinary garden tool into a torture device. We're looking at a homemade cultivator. The operator has to pull this contraption by the handles, walking backwards. According to the creator, this efficiently tills soil. In reality, engineering suicide. Let's break down why physics is working against you here. When you pull the plow toward yourself, the force vector points from the wheel axis toward your chest, meaning up and back. This creates a parasitic vertical force that literally yanks the plow out of the ground. Here's the paradox. The harder you pull, the worse it tills. Second issue, the movement method. The creator suggests walking backwards. You're using weak muscle groups. They'll burn out and cramp up in 5 minutes. You can't see where you're going, you will trip eventually. If you're lucky, the plow won't land on top of you. To work with this kind of cultivator, even with modifications, you need at least 2 people. One to press down, one to pull. If you're working alone without motorized equipment, there's nothing better than a good old-fashioned hoe. Done with gardens. Now an amateur plumber who decided to save $4 on a hose at the cost of flooding multiple floors. The creator proposes repairing a cheap, flexible water supply line for a faucet, then paying for repairs for himself and his neighbors. Logic has left the building and is crying around the corner. Here's the process. Take a brass fitting from an old hose. Find some steel ferrules somewhere. You know where to get those? Drop it in the comments. Instead of a proper press, we're using a nut cut in half and a vise. Visually, the connection looks decent, but it's a ticking time bomb. Flexible supply lines don't fail because they're bored. They fail because the rubber has degraded, dried out, lost elasticity. Repairing an old hose is like treating gangrene with a Band-Aid. Cut off the rotten piece, it'll burst somewhere else next week. Now, about the technique. A vise only applies pressure from 2 sides. Factory crimping uses press pliers with a multi-sided profile, ensuring even pressure all around. When you squeeze with a vise, the ferrule gets crushed into an oval. Top and bottom, over-compressed. On the sides, dead zones, barely any compression there. They don't show the actual connection under pressure. Know why? Because the camera isn't waterproof. There's a 99% chance this repair turns into a fountain. Done with water. Now, radio waves. A radio from a bolt and old cassette tape for those who skipped physics to smoke behind the garage. We're shown an FM radio made from cassette tape, a piece of wood, and a rusty bolt. Are we serious? How can adults believe this? Let's unwrap this matryoshka. The magnetic tape supposedly serves as an antenna and variable resistor, pure scam for kindergartners. The wires are soldered to stapler staples that contact the magnetic tape. The tape base is mylar, a plastic dielectric. The creator is trying to pass current through insulation. It's like charging your phone through a rubber glove. Current won't flow through this contraption even if you hit it with 220 volts. Our young genius tries to convince us he built a transformer from a bolt. A battery connects to the thick primary winding. The speaker hangs on the thin secondary winding. Even if his magnetic tape conducted electricity, the battery provides pure DC, direct current. Without alternating current, there's no induction. Instead of a transformer, we just have an electromagnet. In the secondary winding, where the speaker hangs, absolute zero, silence. Done with kids' magic tricks, moving on to heavy artillery, real sabotage. Perpetual motion machine from a hub motor? Anyone order that? What the hell? This guy destroyed a working hub motor and cut up perfectly good transformers for this nonsense. Let's tear off this garbage and toss it back. Magnets are glued to the wheel rim. Nearby are cut open microwave transformers. When the wheel spins, magnets induce EMF in the coils. This energy supposedly returns to the motor through a little box, a diode bridge. Sounds smart? It's complete garbage. Look at the motor. All the control electronics are brutally ripped out, replaced with capacitors that are useless here. For the wheel to spin, you need to sequentially send pulses to different windings, creating a rotating field. That's what a controller does. If you apply DC directly from a battery, the rotor just sticks to one phase. This isn't a motor, it's a powerful electromagnetic brake. Conclusion: if the wheel is spinning, there's a hidden battery. Done with perpetual motion. For dessert, miracle welding. The creator claims a laptop charger melts metal. If this is true, he's looking at a Nobel Prize minimum. We take an old switching power supply, 19 volts, about 4.7 amps, clamp on the positive, an automotive spark plug with a graphite rod on the negative. The graphite glows red, melting metal. The graphite and spark plug are real, but the energy source? Fake! Main engineering fail. A laptop power supply isn't a welding transformer. It has hard protection. As soon as current exceeds the rated value, usually 5 to 6 amps, the controller instantly cuts power to save the laptop. In the video, the graphite is glowing red, which requires at least 10 to 15 amps at that voltage. Damn it all! This is like a bicycle pump inflating a semi-truck tire in 3 seconds. Believe that? Yeah, me neither. The stock power supply should have shut down in the first second. If it's working, that means the internals aren't from a charger, or the connection isn't from it at all. Free energy exists, it's called viewer trust, and as long as it lasts, perpetual motion machines will keep appearing. If you see garbage like this, call it out in the comments, and send the link for breakdown to us. We'll tear it apart. Hit like if you want me to dismantle someone else's genius DIY project piece by piece. Good luck and take care.